Hey girl, hey, welcome back to My Obsessive Confessions. My name is Tigre and this is my channel. As you can already tell by the title of this video, we are going to be diving into even more new drugstore things, you guys. The drugstore is just non-stop right now. They are putting their foot on our necks and they are coming for us. I just can't keep up. I feel like every time I go to Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, there's always something new, and there's things that like didn't interest me, I didn't even pick up, and then there's just new all the time. So I'm very excited to do another full drugstore look. Of course the eyes are not going to be drugstore, that is something separate, that is going to be in a different video. So keep an eye out for that. I'm not sure which one is going to go up first. But yeah, I'm so excited. It feels like forever since I filmed. I know that there has been like a little bit of a break in videos, and that's not intentional. I, as you guys know, film with natural light. So it has been so cold and rainy here the like last 2 weeks almost here in California. But it has just been so like rainy, and I have not been able to film like I normally would. So I do apologize for that. But thank you so much for tuning in today. But yeah, so that is pretty much what we're going to be doing today. If you do like videos like this and you want to continue to see more videos on drugstore products, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below if you have not already, and join the fam bam here. But before we talk too much, before I talk too much, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Alright, so let's get started. I have so much to go through. There's a lot of stuff that I can't use like two of the same thing, so I'll kind of just mention it in this video that I got. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Before I get started, I know you're probably going to ask about the eyes. That is not drugstore. I'm finally diving in to the Melt Smoke Sessions and the Gemini palette. And so that will be in a later video on this eye look. So don't worry, it's coming. But the face and everything else is going to be legit just all drugstore. So starting with primer, I have two primers here, and these are both from Physicians Formula. And I saw these. I haven't really heard much about one of them, but the other one I did see on Trend Mood's page. And I got these from Walgreens. And the first one is this Physicians Formula Rosé All Day Tri-Phase Beauty Elixir. And this is what it looks like. And I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it is like a 3-phase liquid. And it just says it's a lightweight, liquid, glowing tri-phase beauty elixir that brightens and primes skin, delivering a natural glow unlike any other. And then it says this multitasking miracle instantly preps, brightens, and hydrates skin for a radiant glow. Enriched with rose water to help soothe, calm, and hydrate skin. And formulated with antioxidant-rich goji, nourishing rosehip oil, and kakadu plum, the richest vitamin C source of any fruit. So yeah, it sounds like all really good ingredients. It does say that you're supposed to shake it up. It says it brightens and tightens, so you're supposed to shake it up until it's all mixed together. And then it looks like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my face. I don't really know much about this, but why not? Kind of reminds me of the something that Farsali would come along with. It's way thicker. I did use this yesterday. I didn't have it on very long, but it's way thicker than I thought it was going to be. Like, it looks like it's really watery. But yeah, it feels really good actually. Smells good. Smells just like, I don't know. It does smell like floral, but not like crazy floral. And you can definitely tell there's a little bit of like a dimethicone feel. I think that went well. So definitely keep you updated on how that holds up. Like with, I think it's just perfect for this time of the year. And then the other primer, which I think I'll probably just go over my T-zone with this one. This is, again, like I said, from Physicians Formula, and this is the Soft Light Blurring Primer, and it says with age-defying actives. And it says it smooths, absorbs, and protects. It's infused with optical blurring agents and oil absorbing kaolin to deliver an ultra smooth airbrush finish. It's enriched with antioxidants, protects skin, and visibly reduces fine lines and pores. And it can be worn alone or under foundation. Now this I haven't tried at all. And they did have a same one as this, but a illuminating one, which I'm kind of curious about. And it does have a pump. And I'm gonna put this on my T-zone. So it doesn't pump out a lot, but it is just like this thicker texture here. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of see a little bit of blurring effect. My mirror is so dirty. I see a little bit of blurring effect there. So we shall see. I mean, so far so good. Everything smells like really like clean, not too florally or not too fragranced. I mean, I like it so far, so far so good. So normally I would go in with my eyes while that kind of sinks in, but because I've already done my eyes, I will kind of share with you things that I've picked up recently for the eyes. So these are fairly new. I know that they have been on the Wet n Wild website for a while, but I just finally saw them pop up in my drugstore. I got these again from Walgreens, and these are the new Wet n Wild palettes. And I know that this one here, this one's called My Glamour Squad. This is supposed to be like a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. So I'm really excited about that. I don't have that palette to compare it to, but definitely is a really good neutrals palette. And I love these Wet n Wild palettes. So definitely let me know if you want to see an individual video on just these palettes. This one is the Cosmic Collision, which is also really pretty. And then this one is VI Purple. There's so many like beautiful purple palettes coming out right now. Purple is definitely like, I know it's supposed to be coral is the color of the year according to like Pantone or whatever, but purple is definitely like popping up everywhere. And then speaking of purple, I have another palette that I picked up from Colourpop. This one is the Colourpop It's My Pleasure palette. I have not dived into this. When I saw this, it immediately reminded me of the Huda Beauty's Amethyst Obsessions palette. This is what it looks like. It's one of those hard packaging. This is my first hard packaging one. And this is what the inside looks like. I'm so excited to dive into this. It's so pretty. So yeah, let me know. I wanted to do like a comparison video between that and the Huda Beauty Obsessions Amethyst palette. Let me know if that's something that you want to see or how you want to see it. Maybe I'll do like a Valentine's Day look with it. I'm not really sure. So let me know if that's something you want to see. And then the other palette I picked up from Colourpop was the Brown Sugar palette. And this is by Karrueche and Colourpop. And I held off on getting this because I just felt like online and even like on Instagram when I would see people's, it was just, every time I would see it, I felt like it was a different looking palette. And it didn't look like something I would be interested in. Like it looked like they were really light or like really cool tone. And I just finally just broke down and got it. And I have been tearing this palette up, you guys. This is the perfect, this is the perfect everyday palette. And I just love this palette. I have just been going in with this color here, Sorrel, all over the eye and in the crease, a little bit of amber. And then I will just use my finger to pop any one of these on the lid, and sometimes I'll just do an all matte look. This is a beautiful like brow bone or like use on the inner corner to brighten up the eye. It's just a really great everyday palette. It kind of reminds me, I've been contemplating on picking up the NARS, what is it called? It's their new like neutral palette. It looks very basic, but I love basic and it just looks so beautiful. But this is kind of like satiating that like want for that palette, because this is kind of exactly what I feel like that other palette is going to do. So I've just been loving that. Again, let me know down below if you want to see a video on any of these things. Maybe I'll do like my everyday look full face of my everyday go-to look with that. But yeah, I've just been loving that. And then the last eye product, yeah, I think this is the last eye product that I picked up is from the Colourpop times Kathleen Light's the Zodiac Loose Pigment collection, and this is the full collection here, and I definitely want to do like a full video on this by itself. So excited. I really went back and forth. I love Kathleen Lights and I love every collection that she's done so far, and I went back and forth on getting this, but it's just so beautiful because I don't use a lot of pigments, but I recently have been diving into some pigments, and I just figured it would just be a good thing to get out my comfort zone. And yeah, I'm just really excited about that. And like I said, I probably will end up doing a standalone dedicated video on that by itself. All right, so now we could go ahead and move on to the skin. And the foundation that I'm going to go in with today is going to be the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation. You guys, I swear everything is coming out at one time. I feel like all these companies just talk to each other. They came out with a stick foundation, of course, Milani's, which I've done a video on, and one other person came out with a stick foundation. Who is it? I can't think of who it is, but I just feel like stick foundations is like the thing right now, just like concealers are the thing right now. Everybody's coming out with one. And I have worn this one time. Again, I didn't wear it a long time, so I didn't really get to see how it wears. It goes on beautifully, but again, I don't know how it wears. But this is, I got the color Chestnut and Almond, and this is what they look like. In my CVS or Walgreens, I don't remember which one I got it from, they these were the two that were next to each other. So I don't know if online there's like a better range, but I will show you. I've already, like I said, I've already worn this one time, and Almond is definitely my shade. But look at the gradient between these two. So this is Almond, which as you can see is a really, really good color for me currently. And then this one is Chestnut, and it's just a huge like jump, and it's just very different in color. So this is Almond and this is Chestnut, and Chestnut's very, very like red. So yeah, not really sure about about that one at all. Thank goodness Almond is definitely my shade. I do think that they need to work on their shade range. It was the same thing for me with the Photo Focus foundation, like the regular foundation. It's just not my thing at all. But I mean, I might be able to use this Chestnut when in the summertime, when it gets when I get deeper in color, to kind of mix them together. But I'm just gonna go ahead and add this all over the skin. I'm gonna go in with this It Cosmetics buffing brush number 206. Okay, and then this is just one layer, and it's definitely like a medium coverage. It's not full coverage at all. Do I want to build it up? No, I'm just going to leave it at one coverage, at one layer, and then I will go in with my Warm Almond in my Milani to just cover any dark marks that I have. I really love this concealer. All right, and then for concealer, I also have two new concealers. There's just so much coming out right now. It's kind of overwhelming. I've already talked about the e.l.f. concealer, the Milani, and I will still do updates on those as well. But these are two new ones that I saw when I went to Walmart. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear concealer. I think they're calling it a corrector. Oh, no. An Infallible Full Wear More Than Concealer. That's what they're calling it. And then I also saw this Rimmel Stay Matte Soft Matte Concealer. It says this one is in the shade Golden Amber. And then this L'Oreal one is in the shade 415 Honey. So, and they both had a pretty decent range. I took a little video of the Rimmel range, so I'll insert that here. I'm not sure which one do I want to go in with today. I'm going to go in with the Rimmel just because I haven't heard anything about it. I have seen a few videos pop up about the L'Oreal one, so let's just test it out. And this one is just like a normal doe foot applicator, nothing special there. And hopefully this does, oh, that is a good color. It's definitely more lightweight than the Milani and the e.l.f. It's more waterier also. So we'll see how that is. And it's calling itself a soft matte. Yeah, you definitely have to dip in a few times to get a good amount. Whereas like with the Milani, I could do my whole face with just one dip. A lot comes out and it's very creamy and it goes a long way. This one is definitely more waterier. I'm going to go ahead and use the Real Techniques Multitasking Cheek Brush. Kind of reminds me of the contour brush. It's just like a tapered brush. And I'm going to use that to blend out this concealer. So let's see how that goes. And I'm using a brush because this is more waterier than I'm used to. And I just feel like with this type of texture, if I use like a sponge, it's going to take away what little coverage this is giving. I don't know how I feel about this, you guys. This, whoops. Like, it's not horrible, but I don't feel like it's giving any coverage. Like, I feel like it's kind of just blending away. Let me try to add a little bit more. I don't like concealers where I have to like pack them on because they start to look cakey. And it's definitely not looking cakey, but I feel like it's also because it's very lightweight. I mean, it's not a lot of coverage. Let me see what it says on here. It says this long wear formula conceals and hides dark circles and imperfection whilst controlling shine for up to 24 hours. And yeah, it says soft matte concealer, full coverage. So it does claim to be full coverage. And this is definitely not full coverage. Yeah, this is definitely not full coverage. It's not horrible, but it's not full coverage at all. And then I was on the hunt for a drugstore powder and I saw, oh my goodness, what is her name? I think that this is Black Beauty is the name of the channel. I'll leave her down below. But I saw her 2018 favorites and she talked about this this JOA Selfie Ready Setting Powder in the shade Banana. And so I picked this up from CVS. I attempted to use this yesterday and this packaging is horrible. It like, this whole thing popped out here. Like I thought when I first opened it, it was like, oh pretty, it slides. But this whole thing popped out and like I lost so much powder. It was a mess. It was a total mess. So just beware of that. But like my first impressions on it were pretty decent. I'm just going to use this Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35. The first ingredient in here is talc. So if you care about that, then stay clear of this powder. It's very powdery. Very powdery. I don't know if you can see, but like just putting it on my face, like powder just goes up into the air. It just gets powder like everywhere, but it does look really like poreless and blurred. So yeah, so far so good. And then as far as setting the rest of my face, I'm going to use today the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Powder. This is in the shade DN4, and I have really been loving this. You guys already know how I feel about the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, and this powder is like just perfect for that. It's very lightweight, creamy. It just goes on beautifully. But before I do that, I did also want to mention another powder that's new. This is really a new shade extension, and this is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. And if you remember, they only had like, they had translucent and then they had two like really light shades. And I know that there are some deeper skin toned people out there that did use the translucent. I never used it. I just felt like it still kind of went on like white. But I'm really excited. They extended it by like 3 new shades. This one is in the shade Toffee. I think they had like a pecan, and then there was another shade. So this isn't the darkest one. I think there's one more darker than this one, but I think that's going to be really pretty in the summertime. I'm not like really into super matte right now, so I'm not going to go in with that, but I am going to go in with this Physicians Formula powder. And this powder is just like so finely milled. And, well, not finely milled, but so soft and beautiful. I love it. Just like, look at that. It's just so beautiful. And I just feel like it never looks cakey, this powder. I really love it. I have to go check out the shade range, because you know what, like CVS and like Walgreens, they never have like the full shade range of things, especially Physicians Formula. Physicians Formula, yes, they're getting better at their shade range, but they're also one of those people that like they never put out the full shade range. It's like there's a whole bunch of like online stuff that I never find in store, and that might not be their fault. It might just be, I know that when it comes to the drugstore, like at least CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, things like that, they stock based off of their demographic. And I don't live in a hugely you know, black area, or even just dark skinned area, so that might be another reason why I rarely see it. I do have to kind of go a little bit further to get to you know, colors that are typically for me. So like I said, that might not just be their problem. I do want to try to get a lighter shade of this, because I think that this powder is just so like beautiful that it would work as like a under eye powder if it's like a lighter shade. I don't know, I just really am loving this powder. It's just so beautiful. I mean, as much as I complained about that Joa Beauty powder, it definitely is like really like poreless, and it's not like drying. Yeah, I really like that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my eyes, my brows, and then we'll come back and finish up the rest of the face. All right, so now that the eyes are essentially done, we can go on to bronzer. And then for bronzer, I finally did pick up, where did it go? Oh, here it goes. For bronzer, I finally picked up the butter bronzer that was at Walmart, and this is in Sculpting Bronzer, and this is a false. I've already used it. I don't know why I put it back in the packaging. They had one other one, I think it was called Sunset, and it was not dark at all. It was pretty light. And I actually like this sculpting one, because it is definitely, as it says, it's sculpting. Let me put it next to the other one. So let me put it next to the Endless Summer, which is definitely more reddish. And this one is definitely more like cool tone, neutral brown. So it's hopefully that you can see that. So this is the one from Walmart, which is the Sculpting Bronzer, and this is Endless Summer. And let me swatch them. So I don't know if you could see that, but the one on top is the, oh my god, I keep getting them confused again, is the Endless Bronzer, that one on top, and on the bottom is the Sculpting. So you can just see that the undertones are different. I feel like they're going to work the same for the same type of complexion. So they still need darker colors for sure, because I feel like this is definitely still like my skin tone, maybe one shade deeper will be able to use it. Anything deeper than that, I don't think is going to be able to use either one of these. But it is nice to be able to have a more sculpting one for contouring, and then a bronzing one. So I'm going to go ahead and sculpt, contour. I don't always contour, but I'm going to go ahead and sculpt with this one. And you could just see, it just gives a nice color. You can totally see the difference between the two sides. And I'm not going to use the other bronzer because it's just too red right now for this look. I'm going to go in with one of my favorites. It's not new, but this is the L'Oreal, what do they call it? Glam Bronze, and this is in the shade. This is the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Face and Body Bronzer in the shade Deep. I know that at one point, this is pretty old, not like maybe like a year ago. I got this last summer. And I think that they brought this back as permanent, just a different packaging, but it's the same colors, and I really like this. It's more of a neutral bronzer, and I've just really been loving this for bronzing up the skin. It has a little bit of like sheen to it, but it's still just like really pretty when you don't want like too much color. This is a really good one. When you first see it in the pan, you just think like, what is this gonna do? But it definitely adds some depth to the skin, and I really like it. All right, and then for blush, I also picked up the new Butter Blush that was at, this was a lot of Positions formula, that was at the Walmart as well, and this is in Saucy Mauve, and it's just a really pretty color. This is what it looks like. It doesn't really go with this eye look. Yeah, it doesn't really go with this eye look. Let me swatch it so you can see. It's just the same butter bronzer formula. I don't even know if you can see that. I'll just go ahead and put it on because it's very like light, but it's still like pretty. Anyways, I think it's really pretty and I like it. All right, and then for highlighter, this I just happened to see it at Walmart on the shelves, and it just totally caught my eye. I have not dipped into it yet. This is the Milani Intense Bronze Glow Face and Body Powder. They're calling it a bronzer, but when you guys see this, it's definitely not a bronzer at all. Like, I don't know who this would be a bronzer for because it's very shimmery. It's definitely a highlight, and it has the same packaging as like the Milani palettes that gets all the fingerprints on it, and it comes with a mirror. And this is what it looks like. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that. So pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. I haven't even swatched it yet. Oh my gosh, that is such a pretty bronzer. Look at, oh my goodness, it's not doing it justice. It's definitely like, this swatch is not doing it justice. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this all over my face. And I'm just gonna go in with my Anastasia A23 brush. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at that. Definitely like bronzy gold, but it is so pretty. That's so pretty. Don't mind my hair. My hair is a mess. Oh, that is so pretty. Definitely liking that one. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my hair, put on some lashes, and then we'll finish up with the lips when I come back. Okay, so I'm all done, and I just wanted to let you know what I put on my lips because it is also a new favorite. It's not new as far as like it just came out or anything. I'm pretty sure this has been out for a few months, but I finally picked it up, and just on accident, because none of the colors actually ever looked that interesting to me for my skin tone, but I have heard, I think Jaclyn Hill talked about this line, but a different color, and I just needed it as a filler for my cart when I was at CVS, because I had like coupons. You get to a certain point, you get a certain amount off. So I picked up this L'Oreal, what is it called? Color Riche Shine, and this is in the color number 902 Dazzling Dough, and that's what's on my lips. And you guys, ever since I got this, I have not been able to put it down. I have super been into glossy lips, as you guys know if you've been watching my videos. I love glossy lips recently, and this is essentially like a gloss and lipstick in one, but it still gives beautiful color. It's a very neutral, like nude color, and at first I thought it would be like way too light, but it's perfect. Like it's the perfect color to lighten up the colors that are on your lips. And because it's so neutral, like any lip liner that you put on, it will lean towards that color. So right now I have on my favorite lip liner, which is the Colourpop BFF3. And then I just put this on the lips. Let me just put a little bit more. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am so in love with this color. I'm like gonna go pick up another one just because I don't want to be without it. I have just been loving this. It's so funny, like the things that you end up loving are things that you like least expect, and I am so in love with this. This is beautiful. Yeah, you definitely have to go out and get this if you are my skin tone, lighter, even just a little bit deeper. Like I said, I just think, you know, it's just like on its own I wouldn't necessarily wear it on its own because it is just a little too light, but with a lip liner or topped on top of another lipstick, it's so multi-purpose, and I have just been loving this the last few weeks. I think I got it like a week ago or so. So yeah, this is the finished look, you guys, and aside from the eyes, which of course I love, which is not Drugstore, I am loving the way my skin is looking. Like these Physicians formula, like it's totally glowy but not greasy, and I don't know how it's gonna hold up. So that is definitely something that we will see later, and I will definitely keep an eye on it and leave my comments down below on how everything wore. But my skin, you guys, oh my goodness, it's looking so good. And yeah, so kind of like to recap, let's see, like I said, these, you guys, that's what I think is really doing the skin like this. I think that this is just going to be a beautiful combo from the Drugstore together. I've told you guys that like from the Drugstore I haven't really found primers that I think really work for me or are worth the money. I'm usually a high-end primer lover. I don't really use or purchase Drugstore primers. They just haven't done anything for me in the past. But if this holds up decently, this is probably going to be a new favorite. Like this together, probably even on their own, it's just beautiful, and I'm so excited about this. Like Physicians formula, they're coming for everybody's necks. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it went from a brand that I had never tried. They were obscure to me. Like I looked at them and they just look blah, old, bland, and they're coming for everybody. I'm just letting y'all know, get with the program. As far as the Wet n Wild stick foundation, like I said, it would just depend on how this holds up. I will definitely have to update you guys. It looks beautiful. Yeah, I mean the color is good. It's definitely a color that I can only wear right now. If I get any darker, I would probably have to mix in the chestnut, but like I said, chestnut is very like red, so I don't know how I feel about that. But I like it with just the one layer. If you have a lot to cover, I don't think that this is full coverage at all. I think it's like medium coverage, and I didn't build it up just because I don't really like building up stick foundations that much. But like I said, it's just something that I'll have to keep playing with and then let you guys know. I think what I'm going to do as far as like updating you guys on the Milani and this one is wear it some more, and then I think I want to do a full like rundown of my favorite, best and worst of the stick foundations from the Drugstore as well as high end. So I think that's how I'm going to update you guys on these foundations after I've continued to wear them and get a real good feel on them with other primers, with longevity, things like that. So that's how I'm probably going to update you on the stick foundation. So stay tuned for that. As far as this Joya setting powder, aside from the fact that it's messy as hell, you guys, like if you can see like my zone here, this is so messy. It gets everywhere. It's very powdery. It is very finely milled, very soft, but it looks beautiful. So I don't know, you guys. I think we might have found a drugstore setting powder. Like I literally was just talking about the other day how I was on the hunt for one when I tried to do that drugstore video, and I think we have found one. The color is beautiful. I am really loving it. It just looks poreless and smooth underneath the eyes. It's good. So I'll just have to keep testing it out and make sure that it works with all my concealers, high end, low end, and I think it's good. Like I said, the first ingredient in here is talc. So if you are not into talc, then you want to stay clear of this. Oh my goodness, this is made by Kiss. I didn't know that. On the back, I'm looking at the like label here, and it looks like Kiss is their parent company, like Kiss Lashes. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so I'm actually really loving that so far. Aside from like it is truly messy. I might try to put it in a I don't know. I think it's just the powder is just so finely milled. It just gets everywhere really easy, but it is definitely a beautiful powder. I will continue to use that. I've already told you how much I love the Physicians Formula, the healthy powder. This isn't my first time using it. I've been using it since I got it, and I'm really loving it. I would like to see what other colors they have, because this is DN4, which I think stands for neutral, because I'm pretty sure I saw a DW4 at Walmart. So I'll just have to look around. This color works perfect for me, but I would like to see if it goes any deeper than that. What else did we use? Like I said, I'm loving these butter bronzers from Physicians Formula. I'm so excited. This is probably like one of my favorite things this month that I've picked up, and so I'm really excited about these. I do hope that they continue to expand. This is the second year that they expanded, so hopefully they'll do another batch next year or later this year, but I'm definitely loving that. What else is new here? Oh, this Milani Bronze Glow. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I feel like at this point in my makeup life, you can't really top highlighters anymore. Like I feel like they're all starting to melt together, and they're beautiful, and I mean, it's the same now. Like there's really nothing different about highlighters, but this is definitely beautiful. I think this was I want to say $16.50 or something like that at Walmart. So it is definitely on the higher end. Milani is kind of pricey, getting pricier with their stuff. Their packaging is also beautiful. Comes with a mirror. It's a lot of product. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely beautiful on the skin, and I love it. I'll continue to use it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing. I think that's it. If you want to know what lashes I have on, they're not drugstore at all. These are the House of Lashes Boudoir lashes, and I just think they're really pretty. It's my first time using them. But yeah, so let me know down below, guys, if there's anything you want to see a dedicated video on other than what I'm already planning. If there's any updates or questions that you have, I'll try to answer what I think you might ask me down below, but if not, feel free to ask me that down below. But that is it for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it, and until next time, guys, bye.